really plan a whole lot. Henrik and I just kind of decided, okay, well, let's we'll kind of wing it as folks show up and kind of improv a little bit. So this, as far as I'm aware, correct me if I'm wrong, we don't have a super firm structure. We're going to try to poke some people, encourage some conversation, try to connect some dots, get people to start getting to know each other, warm up a little bit basically. So it should be a pretty casual experience in that respect. And hey, Matt, yeah, welcome. Glad to have you here. Yeah, it's tough because you obviously a lot of business isn't networking, but a lot of powerful engagements, a lot of big opportunities, or even just time savings. Tips, tricks, stuff like that can come from networking. So we definitely want to do everything we can to try to encourage that. Yeah, I was thinking the same kind of thing. I'm looking at the text chat here. So I myself am pretty much, I guess, in the global sense, I'm a Washington, D.C. native, really outside of it. But as far as the world goes, it's basically where I'm at. Born and raised, various areas around here. And okay, I see a lot of people are chiming in, but these note takers are also spamming stuff here. What do we got? We got some Londoners. Nice. UK.
We've got Sydney. We've got an Aussie in here. Yeah, let's go, man.
Nice.
I'm from
Nashville.
Melbourne, usually. I live in Poland at the moment, though.
Nice. Canada. There you go. I dig it. Oh, Nigeria. Awesome. We're about to get continental bingo here. We almost got them all.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Portugal, Bulgaria. Okay. Massachusetts, India. Nice. Yeah, pretty good spread then. India, that's commendable. So it's what, hour? So it's 13.5 or 11.5. So that means it's what, 3:30 in the morning for you?
Or yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning.
Okay, 3:30.
Oh. Dedication. Thank you for jumping on.
I want to give you.
Yeah, I just finished the whole course. I just sat and finished the whole course, completed everything. I had like a couple of 2 clients with me from USA, and I had to figure out all the shit together within this week.
Your first 2 clients, or?
Let me just turn on my cam. That will be helpful. Yeah, it's like morning.
Yeah, helpful if you can, but 3:30, man. You're just here. That gives you cool points just for showing up.
Yeah, so you got a guitar. You
play, to figure a lot of stuff. Yeah, I do play. I have my own band as well. So from last 3 years. Yeah. So two more clients are coming in. So need to figure out a lot of things before Sunday. That's all.
What are you gonna do, a scope or something, or what's the thing you gotta do?
So one is from the coaching side of it, and one is he's just starting off his marketing agency, and he wants to sell. So 2 type of products. One is outbound, one is inbound, and kind of figuring out both of them at the same time.
Okay, cool. Yeah, later on we can you can just brainstorm stuff, or even
100%.
But yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, I was just confused. I was just confused with 2 things because it's WAPI and retail as well, and I'm like, which one should I choose?
Yeah, that's the challenge of a space like this, right? Everything is still. I mean, really, it's so new. I mean, if you're here, you're in the first 5 or 10%, of the population. Probably last time, I have a firm number, but we're all early adopters, as it's called, right? And so that means there's going to be big changes. Big features, and you're seeing this with the models themselves. You're seeing this with the platforms that the orchestration, as I think of it, as I call it, right? Like VAPI and retail help you connect a bunch of dots and build some powerful automations. And so it's one of those situations where you're probably going to want to get used to reassessing, and double checking what the latest stuff is for the last 30, 60 days whenever you go to tackle every so often, especially before you tackle a big project, just to make sure that you're not going to say, well, I'll use retail. Oh, but you missed a big VAPI feature that's come out, or I'll use VAPI. Oh, retail just snuck out with something big, So it's cool because that's where the competition really helps out us, because we're like consumers, right? And that's where this kind of a market really is going to be an advantage for us, because they'll be in a kind of pretty consistent arms race.
I was recording today, Keith. I was recording another course for you guys and for VAPI actually today. It was eight videos I tried, and I had to delete 4 of them. Anyway, the point is, there's so many updates, and I noticed that real-time API went down from being like 50 cents to about 16 cents, and it caught me off guard so much. They just threw it in there like in 24 hours time. So that's pretty cheap now, actually. So that's looking good, and that's for both retail and VAPI. Man, and your choice between retail or the other one, just pick one that you're more comfortable in building with. So you don't want to spend time learning a platform if you already know one. So just pick one that you already know.
Shortest path to profit. That's how I think of stuff like that. When you're getting into this stuff, you want to get the shortest, the least amount of work, least amount of labor, with the highest confidence in the outcome to get to that first couple sales, first couple projects, solutions, as we usually call them in IT.
Cool.
Henrik, with the casual vibe, I'm gonna encourage people like Mohammed here to just kind of unmute and speak up. I don't think we need to do a queue. If we have a problem in the future, a good problem with a couple hundred people all clamoring to chime in, we might have to change that. But for now, I don't think there's a reason to bother with the hand raising. Just go ahead and unmute Mohammed and jump in and say, hey, little introduction. First time everybody speaks would be kind of nice. Little apropos.
Hi, so by profession, I'm an AI and automation engineer. So I used to do AI, but with coding, Python, LangChain, those stuff. But I stepped in voice AI using WAPI. So I'm in UK. So when I was building a demo for my client, I had this very big issue. Like here, like we call Walthamstow, like we don't pronounce T in UK. I don't know, it's their British accent. So bot doesn't like catch it, what place name we are saying. So are you like recording a tutorial on how we can fix this, or how we can train model to adopt to like this accent? Some of them, they just speak very different, like Cockney style. Hey mate, like totally different.
Is this all in English?
Say again, Henrik?
Is this all in English, Mohammed?
Yeah, different dialects. It's a lot of UK accents can be pretty strong, just because
obviously
it's
like a Melbourne.
English so
same
long.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got pretty much all the nationalities in Melbourne, from Springvale all the way to Fitzroy to Footscray. If you guys ever been there. Yeah, man. It's actually, I would just give it a few shot prompting then. Just some examples of how people may speak then if you're having troubles with specific words. There's also options in VAPI to do keyword boosting for specific words. You can also update the voice side of things to output to also say things in a specific way as well. That is possible as well. In retail, for example, you can train it to say specific words as well. But yeah, I would probably go with keyword boosting for yours and do few shot prompting.
Okay. Do we have tutorial? Like I think Jani also mentioned they retrained model for Arabic accent, so then it can speak well and catch to that words. So I was building a bot for real estate. So when they tell their address, then it goes it goes as a query to model to look for property evaluation, and some places are like the bot doesn't get what he said, like the place name. So then it doesn't work properly, because if place name is not correct, then your property evaluation is not correct, and everything is like flop.
Yeah, there's a couple of things for that, man. First one as well, for sure, keyword boosting for that. So you probably have a list of locations, maybe 3 or 4 that people have trouble with, and really use that. And then when you send that through in a tool call, you then validate that through before it goes into your database. But yeah, I see we have a couple hands up. Matt or Corey, just jump in, boys. It's a free reign here.
Go ahead, Matt. You were first.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, where are you from? Sounds Aussie.
No, I keep getting that for some reason. Everyone thinks I'm from like Australia or New Zealand, but no, I'm from South England. Oh, Sorry, press the wrong
If I
button.
was in a game show, I might have bet Australian.
South England. Okay.
Yeah, not sure why.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll take it. No, but my question was, do you guys have recommendations when it comes to voice agents? What features or like agent tasks would be a good fit for like restaurants, bars, pubs, or like takeaways? You know, your local chip shop, things like that. Because that's the like target audience that I'm trying to like.
Is he breaking up,
Sounds
or
like
is that just me?
He
or
is
he's breaking up?
frozen for me,
He is
video
breaking
and
up.
audio,
He
but it
is.
sounds like he did finish the question. The only problem is he's frozen. He probably can't hear the answer, which is a shame because I was gonna poke him to share a little bit of give a quick little introduction, but apparently he hasn't clicked.
I
that.
think he left. He left.
Probably
Yeah,
gonna
he's gone.
load. Well, we can loop back to that kind of stuff. In a few, I don't see him jumping right back in. Yeah, so I guess we'll keep the train moving until he can reconnect. Who was next with a question or a comment? And I'll poke.
Corey is next.
Yeah.
Try to give a little intro as well. If you
Yeah.
don't mind, sir.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks for hosting this. Super excited for this community, and congrats on, gosh, just the
Yeah,
amount
he's
of people
back.
that have joined the community. So super
I
excited
think
to
we're
be
at
here.
600 in like under a week. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was
Yeah,
a
that's
lot more
incredible.
from. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, my name's Corey. Just kind of starting out with my AI automation agency, focusing on voice agents and chatbots. I'm in the AAA accelerator as well. So that's kind of, I've been following
cool.
Henrik and Giannis, and so it's been great. You guys have been super helpful. I do have a question. I have a prospect. So the prospect's actually in Jordan, working with a guy in Dubai on this project. And essentially what they want to do is, obviously they need a phone number for a Jordanian phone number. And then as well, there's some different like accents and things like that. So they want to have like two parts to the voice agent. They want, English compatible because a lot of people speak English over there. And then they, also the Arabic side. So they want to have like an Arabic kind of like voice accent as well. So just love any input there. Have you guys dealt with Arabic at all? And then addition to that, second part to the question is what provider? I was looking at some other providers, the Arabic, and I found TalkScriber and Gladia, but I've not used them yet. So any insights there as to Arabic or anything like that? Also, how would I looked into like Vonage for a phone number. I've not set up like Vonage or anything outside of purchasing a phone number with Vappy. So yeah, any insights there?
Yeah, we had a build not too long ago with for Arabic, and that was from memory quite difficult to set up. I think Vappy had the Arabic transcriber for DeepGram. This is just gone. This was like 2 months ago. I don't know about retail as well. I think they got a limited. I think there were less languages than Vappy. I think maybe the best use case for now, for you, especially now that real-time API has actually dropped in price. Use real-time API, and then in your prompt, you just say where that your agent is from. So whatever like city or like whatever is like a good Arabic city that it can take inspiration from. I think at the moment it's like 16 cents for real-time API and 12 for that. Okay. Yeah, I don't think off the top of my head you can get like a really good Arabic accent right off the bat. I don't think any other transcribers do that yet.
Okay. Awesome.
Has anyone else found the same? That's just my gut feeling. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spoke with the TalkScriber founder, and I've not run any tests yet, but I'm gonna test out the platform and run things through the transcriber. Apparently, he says that they've got the best transcriber for Arabic. We'll see, but yeah, I'll keep you guys posted.
Not connected with retail or Vappy, right?
Right. Yeah, I think it's only Vappy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks so much.
No worries. I'm just gonna pick on someone then. What do you reckon, Keith?
Well, there's a few people that put hands up. I'm not sure. I think they were all probably in here when I mentioned.
Hey,
this,
I'll say
but
something.
no need to wait for
Yeah, just
in
jump in,
line.
guys. Just jump
Yeah,
in.
just go ahead and jump in. Do us all a
Hello,
favor,
hello.
though. It is a networking event, so try to give a little introduction, a little background,
But-
so we can
but-
start to warm up to each other some, and then dive into it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. There is
yes,
Matt
Ronald.
as well, who was back.
Hey. Yeah, my name's Ron. I don't really have a question. I'm just here to kind of meet everybody, meet and greet, and just kind of learn
Perfect.
more about everybody that's in here. So
Awesome.
I thought I'd introduce myself. Ron Nadelberg. I own a company called speedtoleads.com, and originally started off as just building out AI bots for websites, things like that. And then slowly, obviously, that is evolving into voice AI. And that's on my search of knowledge, ran into Janny and now Henrik. So yeah, excited to learn a lot and get started. I have a few clients already I built out voice systems for, mainly learning from you guys. So really excited to be here and meet you all and coordinate and obviously leave my knowledge. If I can ever help out in the group, I will. So yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Cool.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. I suppose too. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering what did you use to build out the chatbots?
Yeah, the chatbots, I'm using OpenAI. So
nice.
I create my systems in there. I started off using mainly everything from within high level platform. And I don't like their AI and their caps and everything that they do and all the throttling and all that crazy stuff. So my AI from OpenAI is kind of overrides all that within the system. So I use the system to for the look of the AI and simplicity of installing it in people's websites, but it's being run through OpenAI.
Cool.
Yeah.
I used to use VoiceGlow quite a lot for like a quick and dirty chatbot. You don't even need to hook it up to VoiceFlow or anything or ManyChat at the moment. You just use VoiceGlow and just hooks up to your actually hooks up to Vappy, WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, and your websites like pretty much instantly. And yeah, they don't charge too much, so they're pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah, convenient front end deployment can be really powerful. Huge time saver when you find a good one.
Yeah, I like the high level platform because I can get my foot in the door for simple solutions for companies, and then I once I've built the rapport, then build them out a quick demo in Vappy, and then that blows them away. It sells itself. I've never once had to like talk anybody into it. As soon as they hear their company name on the phone, when they call that number and they and it does a better job than anybody that works there, they're just blown away. So yeah, and then from there, the actual real solutions with Airtable and Make.com and all these other things that you guys use, that's what I'm trying to learn right now. I want it to be more than just answering the phone. So I want it to do all the things that that we know that it can do.
Yeah, talking about like the tonality of the voices. We have an outbound agent, and we chose Jessica as the voice, and man, she blew away with the tonality for the outbound script. The person who would usually do the cold calling to do those calls every day, she was blown away. So I know what you mean.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of people are asking about voices, this and that. I've run through all the different voices. The best one that I have found is 11 Labs Bria. It's a younger voice, but her name's Bria in 11 Labs. It's the best one that I've found so far. That's very natural. This is for English speaking, of course. So I wouldn't be sure about any other languages.
Can I have a follow-up question on this? Like, I usually use 11 Labs where I clone my own voice and utilize it.
Yeah,
Because
that's working.
yeah, Yeah, that is working for me in the Indian market, apparently. If I have to give my background, I've been in sales from the last 4 years, and I hate doing cold calls, apparently, and that is the reason
It doesn't.
I'm into
Everybody
this field.
does. Everybody.
I'm
So
gonna
I
say this.
became a
I love
closer,
it.
started to close some deals, but apparently I wanted to have a system where the cold calls are all automated and the appointment comes in and I just have to go and close those deals. So I think that is where all of this started to came in and started all day, all night for this, and that is working. But this one problem comes in my hand. There is VAPI, there is Synflow, there is Bland AI. There is so many fucking things in this world to learn. But I finalized two things: what is VAPI and retail. For VAPI, I need to connect make.com so that it goes to Calendly and all of that to happen, that workflow. But for, I think, retail, they have the automated system in their workflow itself, right? So I'm just confused which one should I use as well. That was again the initial call I started out with.
Calendly, man, doesn't do one big job out using API calls. It doesn't book.
No,
You can't.
cal.com. Sorry,
Oh, cal.com.
cal.com.
Okay, I swear you said
Cal.com.
Calendly.
Yes, I'm so
Yeah.
so sorry.
If you want a quick and dirty, man, just do the retail. But if you want a more robust system with more control, I will build it out myself or yourself. We will be doing that
Using
most
Make.com.
likely in the elite program. We'll be aiming to release that probably in the next few weeks there.
No problem. I just finished the whole course in 2 days, so I'm all in.
Yeah. We got like 2 more chapters coming this week, and then probably another 2 more chapters the following week.
Not a problem. Yeah, I just utilized all what you guys were saying through all the YouTube channels, and when I went on a call with the client, I just used all of that information to close that deal without building it before.
Nice. That's
When
what
I
you want.
closed
Authority,
it,
man. Because then you knew what you were talking about. Exactly.
yeah, and they were like, "Oh, this is what you're gonna do," blah blah blah, and I was like, "Okay, give me the deal then. I'll do it and give." And now I'm figuring out how to do it.
Exactly. It's
to
crunch
do
time.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyone else?
Amazing.
Plyman, you've had your hand up there.
Yeah, so hello guys, I'm 20 years old and I'm from Bulgaria. I'm running now my agency and I have my developer and also one friend of mine who is in sales. Me and him are on sales. So we basically now we're just struggling a bit with names, capturing names while on the call. But our developer has made it like this, so we record a voice and the agent does the work in the background where it checks the name with added keywords. And we've like reached one point that is 80 to 90% accurate. Like, is there anything else we can do to make it better, to capture names better? And I'm saying it's in Bulgarian.
Yeah. See if you can get the AI to spell it back in phonetic language. So like hotel, India, tango. And that will just really help, or even to like solidify that name capture.
All right.
In general, there's a lot of this is kind of the beauty of computer code AI, right? Being able to kind of interact in such a human-like way with voice. You can just kind of copy a lot of tactics already used by people who are on the phone a lot, like this phonetic reading back or this double checking. Like, hey, you could even put this into a prompt essentially. Like, if you have not figured out name, then take a moment to say, hey, I just want to double check. What's your name again? One more time. So say, spell that out for me. Maybe you could have it, because this is totally professional to do when you're talking to other people. We're all quite used to it. So it's also therefore going to be comfortable, familiar, and professional for the AI to do it as well, if there's any doubt.
Yeah, we've also thought of the idea, like if we have big issue with the names, we can say like you receive SMS and in the SMS you can just type in your name and we capture the name from the SMS.
Yeah. Deplatforming will always work back to something a little more structured and finite. Yeah, in a worst case. Yeah. 89% is a great start though. That's wonderful.
Yeah. One more thing I have to ask. I have one client. He's like a doctor, and he wants his agent to be built like when you close the reservation, you receive the SMS, and you also receive like a payment link, so you pay up front. the reservation that you have, because he's like having a lot of patients that close the reservation but don't go to him, and like he's missing. And how can we make it happen? Like Stripe, I think is good platform to use for sure.
Payment link.
Okay,
think
I see. So you
Calendly
like
lets
put
you-
vendor. Okay.
I think Calendly lets you send a payment link, but you would need to book through Calendly, and you don't want them to do that. So I think Stripe is your best option. So you send the link, the Google Meet confirmation or whatever, plus the Stripe link.
And then it's like go simple from there. Stripe handles all the work.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So this is it. I wanted to ask. Thank you, guys. Like I really appreciate you doing this for us. And yeah,
Cool. How long you been in like the AI space for then?
in the AI space, 2 months now, I think. I'm pro footballer, by the way.
I love it. I love it.
But you're killing it. You got a whole
I'm-
team already.
And like I see AI is so huge that like even in my free time that I have, I can for sure leverage it.
Is this your first time getting into business, into entrepreneurship, running teams and stuff like that?
And to running teams, yes, but entrepreneurship, no. Like I've done some trading, daily trading, crypto,
okay.
meme coins. I've done
Well, that's making money. I would say this is definitely a bigger, organizational kind of challenge. Having staff and then all these bigger processes of working with people. Looking at the math is hard in its own way. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, dealing with people like that can be a nice challenge there. So 2 months in, that's pretty good, man. It's hard to ask for any faster progress. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so this is it from me. I will listen to all of you now.
If we can, thanks, Planet. If we can, let's loop back to Matt, since it looks like his connection's been stable. So we're gonna go ahead and tempt the internet gods here and see if he gets disconnected again. You hit on mute on Meet, but I don't actually hear you. So maybe it's like your microphone mute. I'll give you a second here to AirPods, let me guess. Yeah, I'm not Apple's great in a lot of ways, but I'm not necessarily a huge AirPod fan. But they definitely work once you smack them around, right? Hey, there you go. Yeah, you're quiet, but I hear you. Yeah, the scream at it's real good. It should work.
Yeah. So now I'm hearing you through my AirPods, but I'm speaking to you through my webcam.
Improvising. There you go.
That is literally me improvising.
Good prep for any sales meeting.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely fix that. Just want to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Matthew. I go by Matt. I am 22 from south of England. I have joined the AI space about 3-4 months ago now. Originally, I was trying to sell just like automations like go high level and stuff to businesses. But now I've decided to go all in on voice AI because I think that is the big new thing. And I think the whole selling GHL automations and making a SaaS has become a bit saturated, in my opinion. So I decided to go all in on this. The question I was going to ask was my target niche or areas are like restaurants, bars, takeaways, places like that, because I've been working in bars and pubs, restaurants since I was 16. So I know all the like pain points and things like that. And I was just going to pick your brains a little. If you have worked in bars and stuff before, that's great. But also just as a customer, what would you say are like any like frustrations or problems you guys have had when like trying to make an order or things like that that you've encountered and you're like, oh, if they'd done this, that would have made it a lot smoother for the customer experience?
Since this is also a networking focused event, I want to ask everybody, if there's somebody who hasn't had a chance to speak yet that would love to try to dive in and speak to this, feel free. It doesn't have to be just a few of us trying to answer. So I just want to give a moment to invite anybody you might have something in mind to go ahead and chime in and try to share some insight here. Any thoughts coming to mind could be valuable, right? Or we all have eaten at restaurants. We've all had a beer here or there in most cases, and this can definitely be valuable information no matter kind of what culture or country or time zone you're sitting in.
Not getting my food or drink fast enough, but that is not relevant.
Yeah, where's my whiskey, right?
I think also, hello guys.
Hey, now we hear
Yeah,
you.
can you hear me? Yeah, I'm Niklas from
Yes, sir.
Germany. I'm 17 years old, and I think one thing that is important that they get the order right, because sometimes and I called and then they got me the wrong order. Maybe this is a pain point or yeah.
Wrong order.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, just
Maybe
type
some
it
kind of
down.
automatic order verification, order double checking or something like that, perhaps then, right? So that way that you don't have to have the human spend so much time, or the system spend, or the initial caller spend so much time on it.
Yeah, like some validation system before you
Yeah.
then send that through as a tool call into whatever you're using.
Maybe a refund policy as well.
Definitely.
Refund doesn't get
Refund.
back to us most of the time, so why not get something around that as well?
Yeah. Oh, so have you like gone to like a takeaway or like a restaurant and said, "Oh, we'll refund you," but they never refunded you? Is that it? Is that what you mean?
It's most of the time. Most of the time. They
Oh.
never do it.
Damn.
Modern day
Yeah.
scammers right here.
I was gonna say
What are
tough market.
scammers? Yeah.
Yeah.
India is a tough market.
Um,
Of course, if you can crack in India, you can crack anywhere, I feel. That is also one of a place.
Yep.
My favorite pizza
Knows.
shop in Australia was actually had my details like on the computer somewhere. I don't know how they did it, but when I called up, they're like, "Hey, Henrik, you want your margarita and your pepperoni, both large?" I'm like, "Yep." And they're like, "Okay, done. We'll deliver it in 5 minutes," because they already knew I live down the street. So that's a pretty cool idea as
Okay.
well.
There you go.
Order history. Yeah.
Mhm.
That could be a good one.
It was a bit
Order
creepy at the
history,
start, but I
yeah,
got used to it.
I noticed because I've seen this around because GHL, Go High Levels, added in their own AI agents that can, and people have like made tutorials where they've said like, "Oh yeah, we've designed this where it can take orders for a pizza place." And they actually said that the Go High Level one actually does have like a memory or database where it keeps like conversation history. So if it it can like recognize either the person's name or the like tone in their voice that makes them remember who they are and say like, "Oh, we noticed that last week." It'll say, "Noticed last week you ordered 2 pizzas with us last Tuesday. Would you like to repeat this order or make a new one?" And what my point is, do you know if that is something that I could do on Vappy, or like maybe
Yes.
with a bit more prompting, really? Because the GHL one, that's already built in, but with the Vappy one, that's something that I would have to work into the prompt. Do you think?
Yeah, you just set up an agent that is specifically designed for when someone calls in and that number exists in your database. You go to that prompt where you now like have those dynamic variables and dynamic information come into the prompt.
And don't forget the old school ways of doing it. Lots of places will ask your name, your phone number, and they'll also double check the address sometimes. Let's say you're using your friend's phone or something like that, and you're calling from a different, there's all kinds of different ways that they'll look you up in the process. So you could potentially have a list of things to check to identify somebody before you actually give up on the process and label them as a new caller.
Yeah.
I would want to mention you maybe want to be careful about connecting a bunch of names and addresses. Maybe try to use a little bit of hey Noah, good to see you in here. Definitely want to use a little bit of thought there. Make sure it's not super easy for folks to look it up nefariously or anything like that. But
yeah, maybe adds like an extra bit in the prompt that tells the AI to ask them, "Would you like me to store any of your information in our database in case you call again?"
A lot of ways to do it. Sorry for the background noise here. Let me hit the. I don't know what all that is. But
It's not too bad.
essentially, you'd want it to be one way. So you'd want it to intake the information and look it up, but you wouldn't necessarily want it to have any features or functions where it gives information out of that list, right? So you wouldn't want to say it like, hey, you don't want it to answer if someone says, hey, do you have any addresses on Mulberry Street? And he goes, oh yeah, Susan's at 123 Mulberry Street and Larry's at 456 Mulberry Street, that kind of thing. So if you have it basically rigidly instructed to, hey, you'll intake and you'll repeat back what you think you heard, but you don't refer to you don't look up and spit out, because it'd be an impression thing. If somebody says it happened once, it might weird people out,
Address given on call. Don't go looking.
Well, Matt's noting stuff down here. Anyone else want to jump in? Just tell us where you're
final
from,
question, I promise.
your name, and etc.
What would you say is a good way for me to try and market or like try and approach like restaurants, takeaway owners, business owners with this? Is it like a good idea to go to them in store or in the takeaway place and be like, hi, I'm doing some market research, I'm building or testing AI agents. Sorry?
Yeah, I think he's got an issue. He's trying to connect. Hey, Matt, nice to meet you. I'm in the UK as well.
Real
Hey,
quick,
Noah.
I can't hear you.
Me?
Okay.
Oh. I
Can
should
you hear me?
change this to be Keith. Yeah, you able to hear me
I
now?
can't hear anyone.
Yeah, we can
My
hear you guys.
headset just reset. Great Logitech technology here. Long battery life, but once or twice a day it just twitches out on me. I apologize for that. So you're going to be the subject matter expert on that because of your experience. It's really hard to understand that industry if you don't have the painful awareness. Oh, you can't hear me, Matt?
We
Yeah,
can
we can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Oh,
We can.
why can't he?
We can hear
Maybe.
Keith. Just Matt that can't hear Keith.
And he left.
Okay. Well, gremlins are definitely persistent today.
Do you want to pick on
And
someone
just-
else, Keith, now?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just to finish that sentence, for anyone who doesn't know, the restaurant industry in general has very, very, very small margins, especially if it's food. The two highest profit margin things in the entire industry are going to be alcohol and cold serve, anything cold. If you have a machine that makes cold alcoholic drinks, then it's like the holy grail. So like a margarita machine rents money. And so that was going to be where I would take that, is that, the advice was for him to understand that he needs to align with the restaurateurs, not approach them during the evening rush or anything like that, and try to have them instantly understand that he feels the pain. He's been there, he's been in the industry, he knows these margins are tight, and that he's thought through what he's about to say. That's him respecting their time. Yes, let's pick on people. There's a few hands up. I see Brendan, Sebastian, Nicholas, and Matt.
Hey, how you going, guys?
Hey.
Hey,
This
I'm
looks like that was
Brendan
Brendan.
from Sydney,
And nice to meet you.
Australia. How you going, guys? I'm just sort of starting out, and I've been doing a bit of AI automation. I'm in the accelerator as well, and
Nice.
I've been doing that for a little while, but busy life makes it hard to do things. And my problem's been mostly having scattergun approach in just saying I'll do anything for anyone, and that means nothing really happens. So I am trying to focus down, and in saying that, I was considering doing like doctor surgeries and general practitioners in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my one question with that is, would it be better off me focusing on something that doesn't have such a high barrier to entry, in the sense that there's a lot of laws I've got to consider, as well as a lot of them use a lot of back-end CRMs that are quite locked down that I have to get access to.
Do you have any experience in that field at all in any way?
My mother's a receptionist in a dental office.
That's not
It's
nothing.
something. Yeah.
So I have a lot of experience with that. I do not recall the Australian regulation off the top of my head. So I'm going to speak in terms of like HIPAA for US or GDPR for Europe. It's largely similar. The nuance, the nuts and bolts are different, but the advice is the same. If you don't have existing experience, I'm not going to say no. But I am going to mention that you want to avoid privileged information. You should know two terms, PII and PHI. So that's personally identifiable information and personal health information. These records, these terms might be referred to differently with different regulatory things, GDPR or whatever they're showing equivalent is. But the idea is any piece of data that'll help you identify a person, like an address, right? That's why I mentioned before to Matt that, hey, you probably want to make sure that someone can't like say, hey, give me the name and address of everybody on Mulberry Street, for example. So you basically try to avoid any kind of lookup, and you don't even connect sensitive data to it because it's not strict enough. It's not stringent enough to just have the AI do the authentication and the lookup and the actual delivery of that information. It can't handle all those steps at once. You have to break some of these out. So the way we do it is we have authentication be separate. I could really geek out on this a lot, but it's also a networking event, so I want to stop myself. So you would want to stick to non-privileged stuff, the lead gen, booking, stuff like that. The challenge though is depending on how Australia writes it up, someone's like, hey, I need to go get a shot for my STD, then that might not be something that you can really handle, that in terms of like what exactly the appointment is. So that's kind of the challenge there. It depends on exactly what's going on. Dentistry, for example, still protected just the same in the US, but you could potentially have, more general thing, checkup, cleaning, things like that, and then maybe have a human follow up or something like that, perhaps. So you're kind of generating, getting you're automating some part of the process, but the privileged information is handled by an actual human who's going to be able to do it in a compliant manner. So I was even longer than I wanted to get into. I try to make that shorter. I apologize, but yeah, it's the bigger money's elsewhere. I'm not going to say impossible, but usually the bigger money, the lower hanging fruits elsewhere, to be perfectly honest. But it can be done. It just a lot more learning curve before you get to the money.
Has anyone else had experience with dental and doctors just in our call here today?
Yes, I've been also trying to target like dentists and physiotherapists in Germany here, and it's also quite hard with the laws and everything. So I don't know, I've been really struggling to get my first client. I've been cold emailing them and also cold calling them, but it's not really working because you always talk to an assistant and not really like to the main owner or something. It's hard.
I'll give everybody a pro tip, especially for dentistry, but especially for any small ish medical practice, which most of them are, let's be honest. Anything that has between one room or operatory or exam room, 5, 10, somewhere like that, single location up to that size. It's almost always going to be the office manager you want to talk to. They're the decision maker. They're usually like a relative, basically like they're felt and considered to be part of the family, and they really are such a solid central figure. They're like the mom of the family, right? Like they make everything go around. They get all the stuff done, and so that would be a person to try to talk to or to network with. There's medical adjacent fields that aren't regulated, like chiropractors typically aren't as regulated in a lot of cases, at least in the US. So maybe there's some side ways you can sidestep into these areas, get some experience and some rapport and authority, build up essentially pseudo or identical systems, and then try to go for the more compliant people.
Because I was also worried about the complexity of integrating with their CRMs, which are very specific CRMs.
Data is data. The challenge is not going to prison. If you want to be perfectly clear about it, like the challenge is because HIPAA here is a criminal thing. Like if you fuck up HIPAA, like you can go to jail. Like it's serious. And so now, how many people have I seen that happen? I mean, no, you're not going to go to jail because you made a mistake. But at the same time, technically speaking, if you really screw up, that's actually on the books that way. And so in the medical field, they treat it like it's witchcraft in the 16th century. It is not screwed around with.
So it might be better for me to start at a bit of a lower hanging fruit at the start and then maybe work into that.
Yeah, shortest path to profit, like I was saying earlier. And Henrik, help me stop my ADD here. I can really I've done a lot of medicine, so I can really geek out about this. So I got to pump the brakes because we're networking.
He loves his medical stuff. Just to give you an idea, Brendan, me and Yana started off charging about $1,000 for our initial bill just to start anywhere. And it wasn't anything to do with stuff that was hard to set up. It was just nice and easy builds. customer FAQs. We did some cold calling. People were interested in that, and didn't really matter what it was as long as we got our hands dirty, right? But now for these medical clients that we do have at the moment, the builds require, it is currently 5 of us working on one project for 3 months for this like medical client, and we are charging them a lot more because they know hooking up to the CRM and everything else is extremely hard to do as well. So that's probably just taken us 2 people for 2 whole months just to figure out how to connect up to the like the medical sort of back end safely.
Okay.
And a
Yeah,
lot of
it's-
these regulations actually necessitate like triple the labor, because you have to like oh man, I'm talking more about medicine. I'm going to finish the
Let's
sentence
go
and then
for it.
stop. Otherwise, Henrik's going to hit me. But you have to be technically valid. You have to be technically right. Everything has to be set up right. You have to be audited by a third party. You have communication, and you got to pay them for that. Nobody works for free. And then you also have to have what's called a BAA, an extra contractual agreement where everybody understands, hey, we're all going to go to fucking jail if we screw this up. And so you literally have, because those are 3 steps, but that middle step, that's a bunch of extra labor. I mean, that's you checking and doing everything, someone else coming in and checking everything, y'all having a bunch of meetings about it, and then having to fix whatever problems are found. And then they come back in and check it again. And then once you pass that, you can then go on to having your contract in place. And so like, it's not just like twice or 3 times. I mean, it's like 4 or 5, like he's pointing out, it's a lot more labor just by necessity, inescapably.
Yeah, maybe I'll avoid that to start with.
Yeah, and it could be partnerships. I like Noah's idea. I mentioned that before. I was trying to stop myself now, but since Noah said it in text, logistics and supply chain, you can get into industry by building rapport and authority with other relations they have, like the people who supply the medical supplies. Maybe they clean the uniforms. Maybe they take away the medical waste. Maybe they do this or that. That could potentially be a way to network.
I was a truck driver for 10 years, so I wonder if that would help.
Yeah, everything
we
goes
use
on a
that.
truck. Everything goes on a truck. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
because I'm mostly using LinkedIn for outreach, and it's going really well, but you really need a target to make that work. So that's my one thing.
Noah's dropping gold. I just want to say one line. I do love to know and think of highly boring equals highly profitable. Like, make a note of that. If you're ever in doubt, something super boring, that means no one else has a brain that is excited to do it either. So if you can be the one to jump in and do it, then.
Well, Liam Otley's, I remember this one very specifically because he said he went to his auntie like last year, or like early this year sometime, and he automated her emails or something like that. She was getting lots of emails, and he did that for her, and that was a super boring job for someone to do.
Yep.
Focus on something like that.
Because that's a big pain, but it doesn't even have to be the biggest profitable thing at that point, right? But it's the biggest pain. It's the biggest annoyance. It's like, oh, God, I don't want to do this. I'm the business owner. I'm going to put this off for 2 days because I can't. I really shouldn't, but I really am because I don't want to do this.
Getting on call
Hey,
every
Blaman,
day
thanks for
for
joining.
sales calls. Everyday sales calls are a boring task.
Yeah.
But that makes
Those
you
are the
money.
biggest motivators. Like what's a bottleneck, or what's going to make you a ton of money, right? But also, like, what do you just really hate? Even if it's not the first 2 related, like if you just really hate it, you'll pay to not have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I do have one question. If it's almost 4:20 for me in the morning, I'll just ask this one question. I've been in the industry of coaching from the last 3-4 years. Okay,
Oh, cool.
I've been a closer for multiple people. Now I'm building systems for one of a German guy who is in the coaching industry. So I want some inputs. Is it a good industry to tap in? Can leverage it to a maximum level? What are your thoughts on that?
I have an answer, but I'd love to have someone else supply him an answer if possible. Anybody have any insights on coaching? Doesn't even have to be original. Just if you can drop any knowledge, anything at all.
What was the actual question?
I believe Adip, if I'm wrong, I believe the question was essentially, hey, how do we feel about coaching? He has some
Coaching
experience
industry.
in coaching industry, kind of a bit broadly for a couple of years. So very real experience. He's wondering if it's worth the effort to try to utilize that.
Do you
Well,
mean for voice assistants, Adip?
Yeah, voice assistants,
Oh
like
yeah,
automating the appointment setting part of it,
yeah,
booking the calls
definitely.
for them.
Yeah, I'm in a mastermind with
that's
lots of coaches, and they need calls to be booked. In fact,
Mhm.
they're scared of outreach. So if you have,
Right now, I'm not majorly focused on selling it to the Indian market because of the VAPI cost and the make.com and everything. The huge cost comes in picture. And it's only for the big coaches who are making at least uh, 7 to 8 years per year overall, close to like $1 million in a year. Only for them, I'm making it exclusive. What I'm doing for the B2C market is I just launched my own offer, told them that pay me $50 and I'll teach you how to do that. You're gonna sit with me for every week for 2 hours. Nothing more than that. They're just gonna give me some inputs and I'm gonna utilize that to make my own YouTube channel much better. It's a good thought.
well, I think the biggest market for coaching is US. And I know
Yeah.
most of the big coaches hire call centers, right? So
Mm-hmm.
all you got to
Yeah.
do is show them the cost reduction by your system and what they're already paying. It'll
Yeah.
close itself. Like Janice just did one. He just did a YouTube video, I believe, or maybe it's in the course. No, I think it was his
Yeah,
late,
it is.
the one that brought us into the course. I think it was perfect. He broke down the cost of what some guy paying some guy $20 an hour to answer the phone, and he went through the cost analysis on that, and then broke down what his system would cost, and it's a no-brainer. You just got to show them, show them, make videos like that.
Apparently it's quite hard for an Indian to break into the US market all of a
That's
sudden without
bullshit.
any
That is
results.
bullshit.
Nah.
Right?
That's a limiting
you
Huh?
belief.
hey,
Do
do
not
you
believe
want to
that.
know how many people in India I talked to today? I
Okay.
mean, literally over a dozen different people. I had to call a number of companies. I mean, everybody I talked to honestly was in India, and they were all really fucking helpful.
Oh,
So
crazy.
it's when it's done poorly that it's painful.
Yes.
So I got this one idea.
I want to be clear too. I'm not telling you that nobody's gonna give you a hard time, because that's a situation. I mean, some people will, but the currency exchange leverage you get, dude, live in that economy, earning dollars or euros, like that's the power move.
Okay, the first two clients what I got so far, I'm working for free to get the testimonies and the results popping into the international market. Worked in the Indian market, but for not in the international market.
Say again. I had a bit of a brain
Okay.
slip in that. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
I
no,
think that
no
was my
problem.
fault for not hearing.
So the first two international customers that I am working right now, I told them I'll build the systems for free, but I'll charge on the retainer basis, like $500 on the retainers.
Yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable. As long as you're not going to charge off a cliff and incur charges that aren't covered under the retainer or something like that, or if you're passing through the usage billing and you're just doing the 500 retainer to maintain it or something. I'd love to hear if anybody else has any insights. By the way, speak up.
Yeah, that will be great.
I'm doing something similar. I have a chiropractor that I'm building out the system, basically no cost. He just covers the hard costs. Because this chiropractor, and a lot of chiropractors are the same way. They know lawyers, they know other chiropractors, things like that. So part of the agreement was once my system's up and running and he's happy, he's going to introduce me to his influence, his circle. So
same thing. Almost like I met one of a business coach who has like 300 students. So I'm building it for him for no cost and on a retainer basis. If everything works out good, he's gonna recommend to the 300 students again.
But then you hold them to that. Like that was part of the contract agreement. So I mean, hold them to it.
Okay. Should I make a contract out of that, a written contract, or
yeah,
I did.
Yeah, for anybody who's not aware, because I know a lot of folks are stepping into entrepreneurship. Pretty much in every country, just about anything can be put into a contract. I mean, you can't say I'm going to give you my firstborn child, or I'm going to behead your neighbor or something as payment. But anything legal and reasonable, you can definitely put in there, including payment being introductions or this or that. But you do want to make it something that can be measured and managed, right? So you want to give it some kind of quality, some kind of quantity associated with it. Like, hey, you'll introduce me to this range of people or this kind of client, or all of the lawyers you happen to have in your network. And then, and if you get along well with the person, you can specify a little less. But again, it's, you want to try to be mindful if there's any contracts are for clarity and communication and managing expectations, right? So you want to specify enough to communicate that.
Got it. And what would be the best way to reach out to more of international clients, specifically the US and the Canada industry, or that countries, non-nations?
Partner up.
Sorry, I did not get it. Sorry.
I think my feedback is to get into a market, find someone that you can do a deal with that will represent you in that market. Give them a cut.
A person over there itself. A
Yep.
person who's there.
Yep.
Okay. Got it. I can do that.
Hi, Shiraz, we're getting near the top of the hour, and I don't recall Henrik if we talked about how much over we might or may not run, but I know it's getting late for Henrik, so I want to try to see if we can get people we haven't heard from yet. I noticed we got 2 raised hands for a while.
Sebastian's been waiting a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sebastian and then Matt, but Sebastian first. Can you go ahead and unmute, give a little bit of background about yourself, and then go on with whatever you had in mind.
Hi, my name is Sebastian. I'm from Cali, Colombia, so I'm a native speaker. So my English is not the best one, but I will do my best.
Your English is fine.
Okay, thanks. I've been in the AI space like for 6 months. I created my AI agency about 6 months, but I started putting the hard work like in December because I was in university. I'm a software developer, like a software engineer. So I have a little bit of experience with coding and all that stuff. In my AI journey, I have learned a lot of things, like since AI chatbots with Replit coded or voice flow, like everything. Also, I've been using Bapi for a while and creating some demos for some clients. And also automation, I use Make and I start to learning 8 and 8. So that's like my background. I don't have like any big question. I just want to introduce myself and thank Harry for the opportunity of the course. I know you from YouTube and the AAA, so I appreciate it.
Appreciate the kind words. I'm glad you'll be a very wanted man with all those that whole tech stack once you master that, especially N810. That thing's a beast. I love it.
Yeah, I was talking today with Nick from the AAA because I'm also learning like Llama and some coding stuff because like the no coding like section is oversaturated because like everyone, even there's not a lot of people but like most people have no experience in coding. So there's a lot of people with doing Make, and if you want to create like a pretty robust system, you need like more tools
Yeah, I was actually I'm gonna like transition from that into talking about the course. So we, in our more advanced builds that are more robust, as you say, I'm going to copy that word, because it creates like a booking experience a lot more smoother. So we do not use AI modules in our actual production ready builds. We use code these days. So we've transitioned from that. And the reason is basically just for accuracy and reliability. And it's actually much faster and cheaper. You can just deploy one JavaScript server on whatever you'd like, and it's like $10, and you can have that thing run 24/7 really easily. So yeah, so that's probably where to aim at. That's where like me and Sebastian are at. But if you're just starting learning out, obviously just start off with using AI to help you do stuff. Obviously that's where we want to go, and it gets me fired up when people learn and make progress. That's our biggest thing in this course. So yeah, I think we'll start finishing off the call. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Keith, for helping me out today. I appreciate you.
Can we squeeze in Matt Perry real quick?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, last person. Let's go, Matt.
Hey guys, so I'll make this really quick because I know it's getting late. I'm Matt. I'm from Canada, 20 years old. I'm curious to see your answer to this question because it seems like everyone got a little bit of experience. I'm kind of at like the bottom of the barrel when it comes to this stuff. Like I'm even getting confused with hearing some things you're saying now. I'm curious because I joined this and a few other courses and stuff, trying to wrap my head around a lot of it. What would be your guys' like recommendations for like just starting out? Like you're kind of like, I'm just learning the definitions of the stuff and I'm super interested in it.
I can roll with an answer unless someone else has something coming to mind. Feel free.
I think first it depends on what are you aiming for. If you have any clear idea of, for example, you are learning the base, but of what automation, coding, like you want to be chatbots, AI agents, like which is your objective?
Yeah, I'm kind of going towards agents, but like I said, where I'm just starting out, like I'm kind of exploring everything. I don't know what to niche down to, which is kind of what I'm asking you guys, how I should make that decision. What, like, how do I learn it the best way?
There are like three main ones: text-based, voice-based, or automation-based, or a bit of mix of all three, which is probably what you don't want to aim for. So just the three choices. I start off with text, and then I realized that voice is going to be the biggest game changer. It is the fastest mode of interaction we currently have between human and AI.
Yep. Humans and humans.
It's going to be the best way for us to interact.
More
so
input.
that is why I swapped to voice at the start of this year, and I didn't even think about it. I just did it, and ever since then been using it. So I'd recommend just start off with the course. Just watch mine and Yanis's or anyone else YouTube videos on VAPI or retail, and learn a bit of make.com. I'd probably start off there if I was you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Just build something, Matt. That's my feedback. Doing this for almost 3 years now. Literally, just build something small for yourself. Even if it's a simple email notification or something, you just sit there and just be so. You're going to be so happy when you see a result and you see a 200 OK status.
Thank you.
Honestly.
And just to, I'm assuming you don't have a tech background at all because you didn't mention one. It is totally normal to be like, what the heck is going on? I can't solve this for a couple hours. Just make sure if you ever get stuck for a period of time, you go and you give yourself time limit, 30, 60, 90 minutes, whatever it is. Okay, I can't figure out. Let me go to Discord. Let me go to a community. Let me go to, forum. Let me, whatever the case may be, and build a bit of a loop, a bit of a process for how you kind of work through this tough stuff, and be kind to yourself. Give your brain a chance to adjust and soak up these patterns. Don't spin your wheels and hit your head against the wall too long, and you'll pick this stuff up, in pretty rapid pace.
Right.
Faster than you think, I guess, is really what I mean to say.
Yeah. Thank you for helping that out.
Also, Matt, like for beginners, in my case, the four crucial things in tools, if you want to go with voice agents, Make and Bapi, they are, in my opinion, pretty good. You can do a lot of stuff. And when you are gonna learn about Make, the most important thing in my case is APIs. You need to know what's an API and how it works, because if you want to connect it with other systems, is important. And also Postman. That's like with those four things, you can do pretty great things.
Perfect. That's a lot of help. Thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Yeah. No worries, Matt. And then also to add to that, if you are going to start with Make, obviously ChatGPT accepts screenshots. So just take screenshots of whatever step you're on with make.com and just send it to ChatGPT and say, I have no idea what I'm doing. What have I done wrong? And it will help you.
I think
it will be your expert to help you through the process.
Would you say, Noah, you speak to Claude more than your own wife?
I do that every day. I spend at least 1 hour on ChatGPT. I'm like, I'm doing this. What should I do next?
Yeah.
So I think, Matt, you can start with make.com. They have their own inbuilt course as well. I started with that. I finished the basic, intermediate, advanced level as well. And that is how I started to make some bots with chatbot and everything. I'm not coming from a technical background, apparently sales and marketing background, then got into all of this. Then slow and steady voice chats, voice bots. I went into it, Vapi. But Make is helping me a lot in doing a lot of stuff on the back end.
Yep.
Right.
And
You can start
give
with
more
that.
motivation, Matt, as well, to add to the story. Yesterday I met a founder, and he was a actor, nothing to do with tech. And then he was so obsessed with AI that he started speaking to ChatGPT so much that he managed to become one of the leading AI companies. And now his startup is worth $24 million. So
Yeah.
and he's not even a developer.
Yeah.
I want to put my hosting hat back on for a second. Matt, is there any of that really didn't make sense so we can cover it in the last 30, 60 seconds before we wrap the call?
No, actually, I'm kind of, I understand the different softwares and stuff, and I was just wondering where to go. So all that advice was actually great. Yeah, it was perfect. That's kind of what I was looking for.
Efficiency, extra features, those are second and third steps. First is get any combo, get it working, add some features, make it more efficient, kind of like that, essentially.
Great. Thank you.
So you'll be all right. Henrik, send us off. What do you got?
Thank you for coming for our first networking session, and I think we'll do these weekly. So hopefully see you around roughly this time next week. We'll make an event, and appreciate you